I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels, and you are watching Weather Homeschool. Today's episode is a little more lighthearted, a little more fun. We're going to talk about rainbows, one of the most amazing things that you can see in the sky, especially after you get a nice summertime storm. Well, we're going to talk about the different colors of the rainbow, how they form, and also a little bit of an experiment that you can do on your free time that involves a jar, a piece of paper, and the sun. So let's first talk about the colors of the rainbow. Many of you know them. They are Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. That's what you see with a primary rainbow. A second rainbow or secondary rainbow would be these colors reversed. So a lot of times when you see a rainbow, there's usually a second one that kind of looks like it's behind it or above it. That's usually about 1/10 the intensity or the brightness of your original rainbow. So let's talk about how these form. We're going to take this little guy right here. We're going to call him Randy the Rainbow Seeker, just for no reason. But what you need to have in order to see a rainbow is the sun behind you. Okay, so that's step number one. Step number two is either to have some low clouds with a lot of water in them or some rain ahead of you. So passing, the rain has already hit you, now it's moving away from you. So you got the sun to your back, you've got the rain looking ahead of you, okay? So let's kind of take these droplets, let's make one really big for you, okay? So the sun's light goes into the rain droplet. Then it gets bent toward the other side. So you see how there's these two sides to the rain droplet? So it enters the raindrop, then it gets bent toward the other side. There's another step to this, which is kind of different than bending. It's reflecting. So that gets reflected back. This is the sun's light going in, being bent, and then the light being reflected back toward you, okay? So that's where we start to see the different colors, the Roy G. Biv. That's how we see the rainbow forming, but this usually happens at a certain point in the day. That's what I want to know from you guys in today's trivia question. What time of day do rainbows happen the most often? Think about it for a little bit. If you've ever seen a rainbow, kind of think back to what time of day that was. Think about the answer. Once you have it, unpause the video and we'll let you know. So the time of day that rainbows happen the most often, around sunrise and around sunset. That's when the sun is lower in the horizon, and that's when you start to see that bending and reflecting of the sun's light throughout these rain droplets. Now, before we go, we got one little experiment for you guys, and I'm going to let you guys do this one on your own rather than trying it myself. What you'll have to do is, again, having the sun to your back, you take a glass jar, but make sure it's filled with water, and then you have a piece of paper ahead of it. The sun's light goes into the glass jar, goes out and onto the paper, and should be able to form a little bit of a rainbow on your sheet of paper. So let me know if that works for you by sending me a message or an email. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Weather Homeschool. Next week will be our last episode of the spring semester, so you'll definitely want to tune into that. I'll hopefully have some special guests joining me as well. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels for Weather Homeschool. We'll see you next time.